What's up, everybody? I'm back, and I'm continuing to go over what was being printed in the press at the time of Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey's arrest, what happened during their trial, and everything post-trial as well. The first article from today is from April 26, 2007, and it is from the Madison, Wisconsin State Journal, and it is the day that Brendan Dassey was found guilty of murder. The headline is, "Dassey Guilty of Murder. Stephen Avery's nephew also convicted of sexual assault and mutilation of corpse." A jury found Brendan Dassey guilty Wednesday night of raping a 25-year-old freelance photographer and helping his uncle kill her and burn her body. Dassey was found guilty of all three charges by the jury, which was selected in Dane County because of pre-trial publicity in the Manitowoc County area. Juries deliberated about 4.5 hours before returning the verdict. Both Avery and Dassey face mandatory life terms on the homicide charge. Avery is set to be sentenced on June 1st and Dassey on August 6th. Mike Halbach, Teresa's brother, said his family is relieved they no longer must endure months of court dates in the two cases. Hopefully, Teresa can now enjoy her time in heaven instead of worrying about us, he said. We're sending both of them to prison. Dassey sat motionless as the verdicts were read. His family left the courthouse without speaking to reporters. His mother, Barb, refused to stand up when the jury dismissed from court. Defense attorney said he and Dassey were disappointed. He stopped short of saying he definitely would appeal, but said it would make sense in the case with a life term as punishment. I prefer to win. I prefer to see Brendan out, he said on his way out of the courthouse. A key piece of evidence in the 9-day trial was a 3-hour videotape statement in which Dassey detailed how he found Halbach chained naked to Avery's bed and raped her at his uncle's urging. He said Avery stabbed her, slit her throat, and Avery took her to the garage and shot her multiple times before they burned her remains. He later recanted his statement, unlike his uncle, who never took the witness stand at either trial. Dassey testified in his own defense. He said he made up the story of the killing and may have used details he learned from a novel he read a few years earlier, which was Kiss the Girls. I don't know when prosecutors asked him why he would lie to detectives, because he was scared. So stupid. Prosecutors argued that investigators found the shackles in Avery's bedroom and also found a book. That's where investigators got the idea of telling Brendan Dassey that shackles were used, because they found shackles. It's so stupid. There's no evidence that that ever took place. There's no evidence that Teresa Halbach was ever in Stephen Avery's trailer. There was no hair. There was no blood. There was no DNA of anybody, Teresa Halbach, Brendan Dassey, or anybody found in Stephen Avery's bedroom. Prosecutors argued that investigators found the shackles in Avery's bedroom and also found a bullet fragment in the garage with Halbach's DNA on it, which matched Dassey's story, which matched Dassey's coerced story. Calumet County District Attorney Ken Kratz, acting as special prosecutor in the cases of both Avery and Dassey, told reporters after the verdicts were read that Dassey could have saved Halbach but chose instead to rape and kill her. A tragedy occurred that did not have to happen. Judge to hear Avery's request for a new trial. A judge today will consider Stephen Avery's request for a new trial because his lawyers say the jury's decision didn't make sense. His lawyers filed a 38-page motion last month for a new trial, saying the verdict was inconsistent. Among other things, the motion said the state did not present evidence that anyone else participated in the crimes during Avery's trial. Therefore, there were no rational basis for the different verdicts, the motion said. It was unclear whether Judge Patrick Willis would make a decision today after hearing arguments. Avery's sentencing is set for June 1st. It was from May 22nd, 2007, from the Madison, Wisconsin State Journal. The next one and the last article we are going to go over today is also from May 22nd, 2007, from the Madison, Wisconsin State Journal. Experts doubt Stephen Avery will get a new trial. His request, which a judge will consider today, says the jury's split verdict is inconsistent. The day before a judge considers Stephen Avery's request for a new trial, two law experts said they thought the chances of his murder conviction being thrown out were slim. His lawyers asked for a new trial because the juror's decision didn't make sense. His lawyers filed a 38-page motion last month in for a new trial, saying the verdict was inconsistent. It was unclear whether the judge, Patrick Willis, will make a decision today after hearing arguments. Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz declined to comment, and Avery's lawyers didn't immediately respond to email on Monday. The motion said the state did not present evidence that anyone else participated in the crime during Avery's trial, and in his closing arguments, Ken Kratz told the jury that only one person was responsible for the crimes, and that was Steven Avery. See, what they're talking about here is how there were two completely different stories at trial for the same murder. They told a different story in Brendan Dassey's trial than they told in Steven Avery's trial, but yet both were somehow convicted for the murder. I've done a few videos on that in the past, and it is one, I don't know how that works. I don't know how two people can be convicted of the same murder two different ways. You're saying in one case two people did it, you're saying in another case one person did it. It is absolutely ridiculous. A law professor and former Supreme Court justice said a post-conviction motion on the allegation of an inconsistent verdict is routine in civil cases but less common in criminal cases. Whether the judge allows a new trial for such a set of verdicts depends on the evidence, she said. Is there evidence to support these two verdicts, she said? Can the jury find them guilty of the homicide and not guilty of mutilation of a corpse? And can that make sense in the light of evidence? No. She said she didn't believe the verdicts were inconsistent because there was evidence of two burn sites which may have caused the jury to question who was responsible for the burning. Ken Kratz has said previously he believed that the Avery jury came to a compromise verdict, with some members agreeing to convict on the murder charge in return for an acquittal on the other, although he hadn't discussed the matter with them. Mark Hersh, chairman-elect of the criminal section of the State Bar Association, said there was some evidence to doubt the mutilation charge, but the verdict seemed inconsistent. If he killed Miss Halbach, how can they say he didn't dispose of the body as well? I think there was some evidence that he disposed of the body, but he said getting a new trial based on an allegation of inconsistent verdicts is an uphill battle of epic proportions, and he didn't foresee the judge allowing a new trial. Avery has a right not to be tried on the mutilation charge because of the double jeopardy rule, but the motion said Avery would unconditionally waive that right if the state grants a new trial. I still think it's stupid. I think that it's ridiculous that you can say one person committed a murder in one trial and then say two people committed the murder in the next trial and have it be the exact same murder. It's stupid. It's stupid. Anyway, those are the articles we're going to go over today. Let me know what you think. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.